to Josh Green, the following videos are not misinformation.
All she had to do was make a right turn and she would be safe, but the police would not let her turn right. Nobody was turning right. They turned her back and directed her back towards Lahaina to come north out here. The thing that got her, she took a picture in her rearview mirror. It showed all these cars coming into Lahaina. They were going into a death trap.
Are you okay? Talk to me.
The message is being broadcast among all of the media outlets in Hawaii right now.
A disinformation campaign immediately after the Maui wildfires was spread by China and Russia.
That campaign made the government's response to the disaster even more difficult.
Well, Mark and Ash, from weather warfare to floating bodies on another island, thousands of missing children to a Maui land grab. Experts say the online post can start as genuine concern, but that China and Russia are now using artificial intelligence to amplify it, spread fear and distrust in government.
Hawaii Governor Josh Green, well, he's not only blaming China, but also Russia for his own catastrophic Maui fire failures.
When you start talking about laser beams and heat rays coming from space that would take out people in Maui, come on, let's get real.
Governor Green said on HNN Spotlight Now he'll take disinformation concerns to the president.
They used that to sow discontent and doubt, suggesting to our own social media types that there were thousands of children gone, or that we would want that. It's disappointing. The world has to get better.
We were able to separate, and then we just sat there, and I said, and Annalise said, Enna, I said, I know the wind has stopped. She said, yes. And the fire has stopped. And I said, yes. And I remember she said, you want to look over? I said, I don't have strength to stand. Can you look? She looked up and she said, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And I stood up and I climbed up to the top and I was holding on to the seawall. And it looked like it was an apocalypse, like somebody just dropped a bomb and destroyed the whole Lahaina town. And I was like, it looks so skeletal. The first rescue took my nephew who lives in Molokai. His friends are boaters coming in to bring in supplies. Instead of bringing in supplies, they were picking up bodies and delivering here. When they were found, this was like the 2 days later. This is not the day of the fire or the day after. This was 2 days later.
Get to here.
That's the first road that goes into Front Street. As you can see, it's blocked off. It's hard to see, but on the left side, usually there would be houses that's visible from this area, but they're gone, they're level. And what's weird to me is look at all these trees that are still standing within all these houses that were reduced to rubble. Makes no sense to me. There are so many things about this quote-unquote wildfire that just don't make sense. I have a video that I can't show here, but it's of a cat, and it's in a walking position on all fours, but it's dead. It's basically like a statue. The hairs are still on there, but it basically died like instantly, and it just stayed in that position, which is really weird that it wouldn't fall down. That doesn't make sense in a regular fire, does it? I also have another video that I wish I could show you, but I can't and I won't. And God, I don't think I can even talk about it. But just something that doesn't make sense. Isn't it so bad that we can't talk honestly and openly about certain things? That we might face repercussions or something in the future? Folks, the truth is out there. The evidence is there. And you guys got to go out and look at it and make a decision of what you think. And whether you think there's something going on here that isn't normal. Try to pay attention to all the trees that are still standing amongst all these flattened houses.
Yeah.
This tragedy and did everything they could to help each other. The sad part is we are 8 days past this wildfire, and I'm in constant touch with these community members and leaders. They are still not seeing response from the county, the state, the federal government to be able to go out and help them. The community support hubs that they have are 100% community led.
Now being told, well, the state, the governor is looking at taking that land, taking ownership of that land, that it is unconscionable. And there's, oh, you know, we'll, you know, for those who've been displaced, we'll see about doing a land swap and we'll send you to the Big Island to live in Puna.
Jesus.
It's taking away the sovereignty of people's rights to have a say over their home, in many cases, their generational lands, it is such an abuse of power. And so this is, and I'm glad that there are leaders in the community who are leaning into this fight to make sure that they are fighting this fight before anybody tries to do that, rather than looking in the rearview mirror and saying, gosh, I wish we had done something.
On the news, but on a neighboring island of Lanai, they found 183 bodies washed ashore there. There's 800 as of today reported missing. There are many hundreds that are being refrigerated right now, trying to get ID. They're asking people on the island to provide their DNA so they can match DNA to others. Outside the media, they're expecting this to reach almost 2,000 people in death toll. This is right up there among the worst, if not the worst, since us becoming a nation as fires go. 85 Paradise, and that was considered the worst?
That was Pastor Jack Hibbs revealing shocking information that we don't hear on mainstream media regarding the terrible situation with the Maui fire. What is being reported on mainstream media is this.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency, the team that's supposed to be digging through the ashes and delivering aid, has turned the tragedy into a junket. FEMA booked themselves into 5-star luxury Hawaiian resorts. They're shacking up at the Maui Four Seasons, beachfront, of course. Rooms there are $1,000 a night. It's not just the Four Seasons. FEMA agents are also posting up at the Fairmont Key Lani in Maui, where rooms range there from $1,300 to $4,500 a night. FEMA agents are also crashing at the Grand Wailea Astoria, 5 stars of course. Are these the hotels Biden's FEMA officials should be staying in, gallivanting around in and drinking in, as search and rescue operations are underway with 500 kids still missing? Now, FEMA has confirmed that they're staying at these hotels. Biden's giving Maui fire victims $700, while his FEMA officials sleep at luxury resorts.
Also asked, what's up with the color blue in the Maui fire? The theory is that a blue wave laser can start a fire instantly from a distance, and when it does, the only thing left standing is anything with the same color of the laser beam. Blue. Now, I know we're talking about lasers here, and at first I thought it was absolutely nuts. But how do you explain this?
A lot of things that are blue, for some reason, stood the test of the fire. Got this blue car, and these homes had blue in it. I mean, it gets weird. Here, blue survived it. The cloth, the boat, that survived in the ocean. And these are all just the mainstream articles showing us. The boat was blue. The car that survived, right, it's still blue. And I mean, this is what they showed in the mainstream news.
Okay, guys, this is the last episode I'm going to do for a while, but it should be a pretty good one. It's things that did not burn during the fire. I went through hours of footage, and it was pretty interesting what I found. Here are the famous umbrellas. These are actually Tommy Bahama umbrellas. And the sole surviving car on Front Street in front of the outlet mall. And I actually found another sole survivor car the other direction that's a little bit further south on Front Street. You can see it on the left in this frame here.
I see it. Shirt survived. What kind of shirt survives a fire like that, I wonder? A shirt that says Sister Revolution. Hard to believe, huh? The whole building goes down. The whole street goes down, and then these shirts survive somehow. The Sister Revolution. A lot of them, actually. That's crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna auction these shirts off. The last surviving apparel from Maui. These are gonna go auctioned for the families. I don't see it though.
I was inside my own police agency. It is crap. It is absolute shit. Everybody watch this video.
I want to find out what law says I can't stop and take pictures or stop and go on the highway. I'm just asking what law it is. That's all I want to know.
It's only because they registered a proclamation that vehicles can stop and take pictures.
That's all I was asking her, and she's like freaking out on me. I just want to know what law says we can't stop here.
Are you with the company or?
No, I'm just a citizen. I live in Kanapali, and I just want to know what law says we can't do it. We have a right. We have a constitution that says we have the right to press. We have a right to. We have a right to be on this. This is a public road. I'm just trying to find out what law we are following here. That's all I'm just asking that question. What law says we can't? What law do we tell people they can't stop here?
Let me call my lieutenant.
Just all I'm asking. What law? I'm not trying to create any problems. I'm just asking a real simple question. I don't want to get arrested. I'm not breaking the law, I don't think. Don't you have to tell me what law I'm breaking? I don't know.
Can I see your registration and insurance, please?
Okay. Colton, can you hold this?
Yeah. By law, you should have a car license plate.
They might have fallen off.
Your registration and insurance.
By the way, we're on our way to a funeral.
Okay.
For a victim of the fire. Everything's in there.
Thank you.
And what's your name and badge number?
What's your registration and license?
You need my license? It's in my little bag. Hang on a second. Can I get your name and badge number?
Thank you.
Yeah. Do we know what law says we can't stop here? One, two, three, four. How many cop cars you got here? 5? Just asking what law it says we can't stop here and take pictures of Lahaina. We're on the very edge of Lahaina. We're not even anywhere over the town. This is on the very south end. Colton, all right, guys, for all you auditors out there, hit me in the comments with a good next step to deal with this. Colton, read the comments. I can't see them. Colton.
These people are no good. They're gonna try and put you in jail, brother. This is how it works. How can they uphold the law when they don't even know the law? Nefarious actions. So how does John Green's wife handle all these orphans? Be safe, Eric, because they are hiding something. Hey, Jack, leave the chat. Hey, what, DL and Reg? You haven't done anything wrong. You are covered in the blood of Christ. Protecting and serving the elite only. There's no law. It's a public place your tax money pays for.
We're literally on our way to a funeral. Can we go now?
Stand by.
We're gonna be late for a funeral. If you're just joining the live, I'm sitting here in my car on the way to a funeral, and I just decided to pull over.
Clown doesn't regret not alerting them before they were burned alive. Criminal. So now we've seen officials in Maui not only purposely not sounding the emergency sirens, but also purposely saying no to using the vast amounts of water available to put out the fires. What is happening here? Forgive me if I'm wrong here, But when there's an emergency taking place, shouldn't it be all hands on deck? Shouldn't officials do everything they possibly can, like sound the emergency alarms and use the water that's available to put out the fires? As we've discussed on previous videos this week, the other aspect to all of this is the land grab that's going on. Listen as a Maui resident discusses a meeting between the Hawaii governor and land developers.
Long term. We need to get our people back. I just came from a meeting run by the governor. All these developers were talking about forget the permit process. We're going to build homes, not in Lahaina, and make these homes available. You know what the truth of that is? They're like fast track their development, and they're not fucking helping the people over here. There was not one conversation in this meeting about the people. The people. Every conversation that was had, every developer that came up there and talked about what they could offer was about getting rid of the permits so that they can steal water from our streams, they can fucking fast track westernization development, and forget about the culture and place. That's gonna be our hardest journey in this long road to recovery.
What are the chances that the police chief of Maui, John Pelletier, just so happened to be the incident commander for the Las Vegas shooting in 2017? Food for thought. A Hawaii fire survivor and a first-hand witness spoke out saying this was not a natural disaster.
This was not a natural disaster. This was a direct energy attack on the people and the place of Maui. If you know what lives there, what descendants live there, you know why. And you know why it happened on 8/8. They came in and they took control. There were trees standing and the buildings gone. This system, this weather system, came in from the mountains, from the east. That does not happen. They were not telling people anything. They were not letting people in to help. And they were letting people go in to get burned alive. There were people burning alive in the streets. There were people dead in the water. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people that died. What they're telling you in the news is not true, and I lived it firsthand.
There certainly seems to be quite a number of people uploading videos with similar messages.
I live on Maui. The media is lying and or covering up the extent of the damage and the death count. I personally know people that are telling me the death and destruction is way worse than we're being told. I am witnessing the cover-up by the media firsthand.
Okay, so what does President Joe Biden have to say about the Maui fire? Well, reporters nearly gasped as Joe Biden ran from their questions about the rising count of Americans dead from the Maui wildfire disaster. Biden was asked about the devastating Maui fires, and he replied with no comment.
Will you come talk about the Hawaii response, Mr. President?
Thousands displaced, 2,200 structures destroyed, 96 confirmed dead, and this number is expected to rise into the thousands. Endless billions for Ukraine, including $200 million more today, but President Joe Biden doesn't even have a comment for Maui. Joe Biden spent the weekend at the beach, while Kamala Harris spent it in Martha's Vineyard.
Mr. President, are you going to take questions on Maui?
Can you come talk about Maui? Can you come talk about Maui, Mr. President?
The man you just heard, Herman Andaya, who was giving excuses, well, he completely lied.
So in the state of Hawaii, we have a statewide alert and warning system, which we also call SAWS. That involves not only the siren warning system, but as well as IPAWS. IPAWS is the Integrated Public Alerts and Warning System provided by FEMA, and that has the Emergency Alert System, also known as EAS. It also has the Wireless Emergency Alerts, which is known as WEA. We also use sirens for hurricanes, brush fires, flooding, lava, hazmat conditions, or even a terrorist event. We have over 400 sirens spread out through 4 counties. Our sirens have a rating of 121 decibels. We have to visit each siren minimal once a year for preventive maintenance. Our role in the state of Hawaii in emergency management, especially telecommunications, is to prevent loss of life and to minimize property damage.
There you have it, folks. The Hawaiian government's own website says that the sirens should be used for fires. Those sirens are supposed to be used for multiple types of disasters.
There's one morgue here, one permanent morgue, and it's at the hospital here in Maui, the main hospital. They set up a temporary morgue at the police station. So there are not too many places that these bodies could be placed. I do know that the morgue's hospital is full, and it holds several hundred people, okay? So I can't confirm that they died in the fire yet, but for whatever reason, the morgue is full, and they had to set up a temporary one over at the police station as well. So they've now frozen this confirmed dead number at 114. It has not risen here in the past 2 days. I can't tell you why, though.
Prescription that they so badly need.
President Biden sent an embarrassing and insulting $700 to Maui fire victims, and that's per household, while requesting an additional $40 billion of emergency funding to Ukraine.
So you're in an informational black hole. I don't know that Joe Biden's message has even reached the people of West Maui. But I will say this. I saw that $700 is going to be sent to the families of Lahaina. Now, I just did some quick math, Pete. There's about 13,000 residents of Lahaina. Times $700, that's $1.9 million. I think this week we announced another $40 billion for Ukraine. I'm not sure where we are at this point, Pete, but I believe it's something like $140 billion total for Ukraine. And last I checked, this is the United States of America, as is East Palestine, Ohio. So I don't know why it's so hard, comparatively, to rally for America and so easy, comparatively, to support Ukraine.
Yeah, the forgotten men and women on an island, forgotten today by the administration, distracted by so many other things.
700. John Pelletier. This is the same guy who led the response to the deadly Las Vegas shooting in 2017. You know, the one with all the controversy and questions around it? As the police chief, this pivotal role places him responsible for ensuring the safety of not only 165,000 Maui residents, but also 3 million tourists who visit the island. Only 50 days after he started as police chief, he asked for a raise. Strange, right? What's even more strange is that they gave him more than he asked for. Pelletier went from a salary of $158,000 in December to $205,000 in less than 2 months. Last week, after 50 days on the job, Maui Police Chief John Pelletier asked the police commission for $195,000 a year instead of his current annual salary of $158,851. A 23% raise. However, commissioners believed he deserved more and recommended a 29% raise, which would come out to $205,000. Pelletier told police commissioners that he took a pay cut when he left Las Vegas as a police captain. Oh, okay, it makes sense now. I mean, he said he took a pay cut after, you know, the thing in Vegas. So now he'll probably quit the Maui force and go join another force and ask for another raise. Nothing to see here. Oh wait, there is. Hawaii News Now stated he was hired to improve transparency and accountability within the force. He ordered the police to reroute all of the citizens back into danger zones, refusing to let them get to safety. Sadly, many had to jump into the ocean to save their own lives. How's that for transparency?
Happen. And there are 2 theories online. One is environmental. News reports are saying that the combination of major hurricane 200 miles of the southern shore of Maui combined with the northern pressures created a massive dryness of winds and sparked fires. But there's another theory which suggests that the destruction was orchestrated by the federal government to seize property using DEW, direct energy weapon. Direct energy weapons use concentrated electromagnetic energy to combat enemy forces and assets. These weapons include high-energy lasers and other high-power electromagnets, such as millimeter wave and high-power microwave weapons. The U.S. Navy uses DEWs for power projection and integrated defense missions. Now, ironically, there is a U.S. Navy port just 7 miles from downtown Honolulu.
Fire. This video has also been removed from the internet, but I was able to save it for you. Check it out. One theory is that they were mapping their targets out so they wouldn't accidentally hit Oprah's house.
But why shouldn't you have a conspiracy theory when they're not telling you anything and they're purposely lying to cover for...
I also don't know why that's a conspiracy theory when you're just positing possibilities. Meaning, like, it's not impossible, and you're not saying that it actually... Well, Oprah, I feel like, has better things. I mean, she does own a space laser, so, I mean, theoretically, you could... But the
have a lot of ground to cover in a very short amount of time. Videos about the Maui fire are being scrubbed from the internet at a rapid pace, so I'm going to be showing you a collection of what I've found so that you're able to see them before they suddenly disappear. Here we go.
Now you can't get in there. Now it's a war zone. Now it's like checkpoints and Checkpoint Charlie and guards and FBI and ATF and Army. These people have not been able to go back to their homes to get the contents of their safe. And I've heard rumors about who is rummaging through that. Again, I'm not here to spread rumors, but I'm just telling you. To not allow homeowners to go into and get their stuff is weird. To not allow press to go in there to get their stuff doesn't make sense. To not allow citizens like me to pull over on the side of the road and take pictures and videos from afar of what's going on. I can't fly my drone over there and watch the hillside for future strikes causing fires or looking down and seeing what FEMA's doing. To block everybody out is against our constitutional rights.
No, and I share this. Regardless of how you guys feel, you guys can take this with a grain of salt. Everybody should reprioritize everything that we had in government. Yeah? And the reason for that is because right now, furthest thing from our mind, yeah, it should be everything else, and the closest thing to our mind and heart should be Lahaina. I will tell you guys why. Yes, we do have a homeless issue in my community. Yes, we do have it around the island. But prioritizing building 50,000 homes, because you said that when you got elected, shouldn't be a priority. We need to rethink and change our priorities. And redirect all our efforts to help the families in Ohana and Lahaina. We should be a better job in protecting Lahaina Ohana properties, city and county, and the Maui properties. I'll tell you why. Because right now they're already being victimized in every single way. I just found out that to get your loved ones out, it costs between $2,000 to $8,000 for all of these things. Why are we putting these kinds of bills on our families going forward? No land, this is very key. The governor needs to make sure he understands. No land condemnation. Zero. If we're going to rebuild Lahaina, we're going to rebuild Lahaina with the people of Lahaina. No outside entities, including myself, because I'm not a neighbor island Lahaina person. I'm from outside. I'm just sharing my manao. Yeah. So again, the land that we have, I don't want to hear nothing about climate change. I don't want to hear about global warming. I don't want to hear nothing like that. Lahaina needs to be rebuilt the way Lahaina was. No different, no other way, no nothing. It's built the way that we remember them and want to remember going forward. And like I said, I'm going to send this to everybody. They're going to have this to email. Then again, why are we having meetings to bring back tourism on the west side of Maui, in Lahaina? Why are we? So I'm asking that we put a pause on that for 4 years. We should be housing and prioritizing our families. And then we can think about anything else. I only say 4 years, but think about it 4 years to bring Lahaina to its beauty and historicalness that it was.